2,000 years ago, on any given weekend, 50,000 people would pack into a stadium, not for sport, not for music, but to watch other human beings die. And here's the disturbing part. They didn't feel guilty. They felt entertained. The Colosseum wasn't a punishment, it was a business. The Roman government paid for it. Emperors funded it to win public love, and ordinary citizens, mothers, fathers, children, showed up by the thousands, cheering as gladiators bled out in the sand. For centuries, historians dismissed this as simple brutality, a primitive society that didn't know better. But modern psychology tells a very different, much more disturbing story, because the same mental wiring that packed the Colosseum is still active in your brain today. And today, we're going to expose exactly why.
Psychologists call it morbid curiosity, the well-documented human instinct to be drawn toward violence, danger, and death, even while feeling disgusted by it. Brain imaging studies show that when people view violent or shocking content, the amygdala and reward centers of the brain both activate simultaneously, meaning fear and pleasure are firing at the same time. In simple terms, your brain doesn't just tolerate watching danger, part of it actually enjoys it. This isn't a modern glitch, it's ancient survival wiring. Early humans who paid close attention to danger, even other people's danger, gathered critical information: what kills, what to avoid, how predators or enemies behave. Watching wasn't just entertainment, it was data collection for survival. Rome simply discovered how to weaponize this instinct at scale. The Colosseum wasn't randomly violent, it was engineered violence. Elaborate staging, dramatic build-ups, unpredictable outcomes, crowd participation through thumbs-up or thumbs-down verdicts. Every element was designed to maximize psychological engagement. Sound familiar? It should. It's strikingly similar to how modern entertainment, true crime shows, combat sports, even violent video content is deliberately structured today. But Rome didn't just discover this instinct. Emperors weaponized it politically. Historians call the strategy bread and circuses. Roman rulers understood a brutal truth about crowd psychology. A population that is constantly entertained and distracted rarely revolts. So emperors funded massive gladiator games, chariot races, and public executions, not out of cruelty alone, but as a calculated political tool to keep citizens emotionally satisfied and mentally occupied. Emperor Titus opened the Colosseum with 100 straight days of games. Trajan later held games involving thousands of gladiators over months. This wasn't excess, it was strategy. A distracted, thrilled population doesn't ask hard questions about taxes, corruption, or failing policy. Their attention was the currency, and Rome spent it wisely. The psychology here is simple but powerful. Dopamine from shock and spectacle competes directly with the mental energy needed for critical thinking. When your brain is fully engaged chasing the next thrill, it has far less capacity left to question what's actually happening around you. Rome understood this instinctively, 2,000 years before neuroscience gave it a name.
So why does this matter now? Because the Colosseum never really disappeared, it just changed shape. Today's version doesn't need sand or swords. It fits in your pocket. Algorithms have learned the exact same lesson Roman emperors learned centuries ago. Shock, danger, and conflict hold attention far longer than calm, thoughtful content ever will. True crime autoplay, violent clips, dramatic conflict videos, all engineered on the same psychological instinct that once filled Roman stadiums. The uncomfortable question isn't how could ancient Romans enjoy something so brutal? The real question is, how different are we really when we can't stop scrolling past violence, disaster, and tragedy, telling ourselves we're just curious? Rome built an empire partly by understanding this one flaw in human psychology and using it to keep people distracted, entertained, and quiet. The stadium is gone. The instinct never left. And maybe the most unsettling part of this story isn't what Rome did to its people 2,000 years ago. It's how easily the same trick still works on us today.